Hey, what's up? I'm Brian Martinez, and today I'm going to take you guys inside the mix for the song Signs by Armitage. So, if you know that I do all kinds of music. I do country, I do gospel, I do R&B, and I do some rock and metal mixes. So today is going to be a metal mix. So if that's not your cup of tea, you may want to wait until the next one comes out because the next one is going to be some classic rock. It's going to be a cover of Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, and it's amazing. Anyway, so today is going to be a metal version. So I hope you're excited and stick around and check it out. Okay, so I'm going to give you a rough preview of how this sounds. When I got the mix, it was just MIDI drums, for which I kept the MIDI drums. So there's a couple things that I'll kind of talk about with that. But basically, he sent me like the audio tracks and the guitar parts are all DI and the raw vocals. And there was some stuff that I had to do there as far as denoising the vocals. It had lots of room sounds on them. I had to come up with a guitar tone, and their bass was Killswitch Engage. That's the type of band that they like. That's the kind of sound they want to go for as far as guitar tone wise. Got a DI bass track and some effects. So I added a couple things, and one of the things that I left was the drums. They had already printed out a stereo drum track, so all I did was kind of pretty it up and make it a little bit more exciting, and that's really about it. Okay, so this is what the drums sounded like by themselves. It's very obviously like a MIDI drum sound. So the first thing that I did was I added VMR, and basically I started with a drum bus preset and tweaked. So I'm adding some SSL, Brit 4K. So I'm adding some Neve style harmonics. SSL, basically I'm pulling off some aggressiveness there at the 4.5, and pulling out some mud there at 350-ish, 490, and that's really it for that one. And this one I'm boosting a little bit on the higher end. So I was like, I'm pulling out in that 4K range. I want to boost in, the upper mids, taking out some 422 and then boosting a little bit of that kick at 54. And let's see, I probably left my distressor pretty much the normal setting, and just drove it until it started to come up here in the orange and red, and just dialed the mix down to where it wasn't like super crazy, because I got a 6-to-1 ratio. I'm high passing, and it's a pretty fast attack and a pretty fast release. I'm sorry, pretty slow attack, pretty fast release. So it's just adding some excitement, basically, and then adding some shimmer and some thickness. So this is before. And then this would be after. Now it sounds really bright right now, but in the mix, whenever I start adding those guitars, it really helps it cut through. And then so I added a secondary one that was kind of like my drum crush. I started with this preset and started tweaking sounds to get my liking, adding saturation, and that's all I was doing here. 100% mix, just driving it. Probably, I'm assuming I drove it until it started to dial in here. Yeah, we're pushing it. Got it? With it. Yeah, really pushing it. Let's see here. So high lift is out, I think. No, high lift is in. We're adding some presence. Low lift is taking or adding some big on that, and that's what this sounds like. So the whole goal of this bus is just to make it more intense and make it more exciting. So then we compress it, and we're medium attack, really slow release, and I'm adjusting my input and output. This thing was kind of beastly, I'm not going to lie. It sounds pretty cool. So this is without it. It's just smashed. It's smashing the whole thing. I mean, it's tearing it up. And it just adds that intensity, that rawness. EQ, I don't think I did very much here. Yeah, like ADB here and there. 4K. I probably... it says I changed it, but I feel like I don't remember messing with this very much. So adding that EQ in. And then the trimmer is just a trimmer tool. So all it does is just take the volume and reduce it down, or it's for gain staging really. And just trying to keep it, not peaking above 0. And that's where I want it to be. So when you put those two together, you get this. And I also did some EQ and just low passing the crush bus. So I'll show you that real quick. Sorry, not low passing, high passing the crush bus. So this is without it, and then putting it in. And this crush bus is just all about aggression. It's all about intensity. It's all about just making it pop from the mix. The drums are MIDI drums, so they're already sound really good. They're already EQ'd really well. So there's not a whole lot I have to do there, but it's just not exciting. It's just bleh. It's boring. So I went crazy, and this is the crazy sound because it's metal, and you're not nice when you do metal. You do things that aren't pleasant, or you do things that are bold. How about that? And so that's where we're getting that drum sound. So those two together would sound like this. All right, so after that, we're looking at the bass. So I had an initial bass guitar track, and let me bypass that for a second. And so I had bypass all these plugins real quick. So I had this. It actually sounds really good. The bass player did a great job. I don't know what kind of bass this is, but it sounds pretty sweet. So I added amplitude. And this is a clean, not clean, sorry, solid state bass amp, and just drove it hard. Didn't really mess with too much of the EQ. This is a setting that I really like on this bass. It's got a nice clean tone, but it kind of starts to break up a little bit. But we'll get more into the actual dirtiness. So this is it here. We get more of that scooped sound. Again, this is without it. I get rid of that honkiness. Okay, and so that's the clean but driven as well. You can hear on that top end that little bit of grit in there. That's really all I was looking for in that. And then so we have this guy, which is just a duplicate of the same track. And we're adding standout. And then we're going to add some EQ to clean it up. And this will be like the high-end dirt side. So we put both of those together. All right, and so that's what that sounds like. And so that's our bass. And then I just put some more drive on there. So you have this now. And the magma tubes, man, is great. So whenever I do actual drums, magma tubes on kick and snare, like it just, hands down, great plug-in if you can get it. It's not very expensive, I don't think but it does really good. But this is just barely touching the bus. I mean, 12%, so not very much. But I've got it cranked for that 12%, and you can hear just that tiny bit of difference. And it just adds some more of that dirt. And then so just limited it to keep it dynamically where I want it to be at. So here's the dynamics with the Pro limiter that comes with ProTools, I think it does. And it's not doing a whole lot. It's just taking care of those big peaks. Hey, get out, cat. Go on. Sorry, we had a visitor. And then just EQing at the end. Adding some more of that low end, taking out some room for the kick. And then adding some presence for it to be able to pick up kind of... You'll see what it does. So this is without it. Come back to the chorus here. That's with it in. There's a subtle change. With it out. And so that just kind of better. So we are going to add the drums to those two. So that's those two together. It's already getting fun, guys, and it's just going to get better from here, just so you know. Okay, so now onto the guitars. Guitars were sent to me just DI. So this is what the DI for the intro guitar sounds like. Okay, and something you can't see on there is I did some volume automation. So you can see here the volume starts really low and does some crazy stuff. I'll talk about that here in a second. So that's it. Let me take this to off. So that's what it sounds like. But I've got automation on there, and then that's kind of what the rest of the DI tracks sound like, is that. I know they're both coming out the left ear. It's because of my plug-in, so just bear with me. When I turn the plug-in on, it'll be different. So yeah, they're not carbon copies. They are different, which is good. You know, whenever you're producing or recording a track for yourself, don't just do a guitar track and then copy that and put it on the left side. Not a super smart way. Basically, what you're doing is you're amplifying the signal twice as loud. Is what you're doing. So that can not sound that great. It's just like turning it up twice as loud. It's not tasty compared to having two tracks that are different, and you get a much more tasty sound. So one of the big challenges of this track was to get that kill switch engaged tone. And I did a lot of research. I went through some old videos of YouTube and trying to find out like the kill switch engage sound. You know, their pedal board was pretty basic. I think they used like one overdrive pedal, and they used like a particular type of amp. And I tried to replicate that here. So I've got this tube screamer, basically a tube screamer, and then this Soldano. You know, and this was a fight, I'm not going to lie, to try and get the sound right. So kind of going back, you know, reminiscing on it, this is the sound that we have. And this will be just for the one side. And so really what I was doing is that I left the stereo, guitar track stereo, and then panned my mics for this is the left side, to the left, but left the rooms up in stereo. So that's why you have like, you can hear the track on the left, but you have that stereo sound as well. And if I switch over to the right track, you get this. So it's just the opposite. And then when you combine those, you get a really big, wide guitar track. Okay, so that's the amp portion. I can show you what this is set on, but this is what I got for that kill switch engage sound. And there's more to it. So this is just kind of the first step. So these guitar tracks are done exactly the same. So I'm just going to do the one, and you can just assume the other one is just like that. Okay, so the next thing I did, SSL. Why? Because SSL is amazing. We added some gain to it, and I don't think I did anything. Yeah, pretty much no compression. I'm not sure why I didn't compress it, but it's distorted already. So that distortion is already making up a significant amount of compression and just squaring the entire thing out. No gain on there. Doing some high pass, some low pass, just making room for the bass guitar, for the kick drum in this track, and then taking off that top end, like overly bright, that I'm not a huge fan of. And we're adding 3 dB 8K, which would be like what I consider the top end of the guitar part. Adding a little bit of 4.5 for some punch, adding a little bit of 1.5, and adding a little bit of like 200 basically. So this is pre-EQ. And then this is after EQ. Okay. And then at the very end, I probably just did some more low passing, and some more high passing, just to really dial in that sound. So before, oh, wait, I want a solo one, and then after. So I would assume what was happening was I was mixing and it was just too bright. It was just fighting everything. So that's why I threw that in there to kind of darken it up a little bit. Let's go to the chorus again. All right, and now we're gonna bring in the bass and the drums with that as well. Add the chorus to verse. That bass guitar holds a lot of the body of that whole track. Show you kind of what those drums sound like without them. That was the drums we had. And then adding the intensity. Okay, so we're mostly the way through. So coming back to the lead guitar part, let me pull up the amplitude. I believe the sound is a little bit different. Yeah, it's different on this one, where I wanted more of like a hi-fi sound and for the intro. So this is kind of the sound that we got. I'll show you. Here we go. So there's like that chop at the end, and basically I'm cutting everything but the mid-range here. And then pull this back up and bypass that. So this is what it sounds like with just the amplitude amp. Just kidding. This is what it sounds like. And then this is like another me shopping around trying to find the right sound for a kill switch engage. And I actually initially, I believe, had this on all of the guitars, and it just didn't fit right. So I ended up switching. And gain, bass 9.3, module 6.5. I can't tell you what some of this stuff, I mean, I know what Presence does, but the middle, I said module. You know, my thought process on this is like, I'm just trying to go for a certain sound, and I'm just dialing in until I got that sound. There's no one trick wonder for this kind of stuff. It just, you have to tweak it till it sounds right. I went off of what kill switch engage uses, and that's how I picked the amp to get kind of close to that sound, and then went from there. So this is the sound we have after we take all the way up to 500 hertz, and then all the way down to 3.4K. So pretty much nothing left. And one of the other things that I did here is there's this lead guitar part down here at the end. So this is what it sounds like first. Just kidding. Solo this. This is their solo. So the solo in the demo was kind of up front, and I wanted to push it back and make it more like mysterious and creepy. So adding in amplitude. I would assume it's the purple one again. Yeah. Same settings as the other one. So we have this. Came in at the very end. And just to kind of help that choppiness, I put a 76 on there and also gained it up some. And this went to a verb medium and a verb short. So if we come down here, there's probably some other stuff in there. Yeah, there's. But that's the sound that we're going for. It's kind of buried in the mix, further back. So that's the 3 guitar tracks, and then the just some bus processing, a little bit of EQ, a little bit of compression, compression to get us here. This is before. Kind of a little muddy, just cleaned up some of that mud. And just really using the EQ to level everything out. This Hitsville, it's my secret sauce. I really like this thing. And so I just went brighter. Don't hate me for using a preset, but it just sounds good. So this is before. Let me go back to my spot here. Chorus to verse. So it really adds some top end, makes it a little wider feeling. And then just some gentle bus compression. So this is before. Come on, sir. Stand aside. That's before. This is after. Just really gluing that stuff together. All right. So that's my guitar tracks. So the next thing that I did that was kind of fun was I still wanted to beef up the track. So normally for metal, you have more than just a left and right guitar part. You have like 2 lefts, 2 rights, and some more fun stuff. And I just didn't have that. So my fix for this was in Pro Tools, there's an option where you can take a MIDI track or an audio track, and drag it down onto a MIDI track and create what's called it'll convert the audio to MIDI. And that's what I did with the guitar track. I converted it from audio to MIDI, and I threw on A&A. Now, I've got it hidden right now. So I threw on A&A. So this is what the MIDI data looks like. Oh. This is what all the MIDI data looks like. Super, just MIDI data. And I found a preset on A&A, tweaked it, added some EQ, and this is what I got. Oh, it's going out the guitar bus. That still should work. Alright, you booty head. Hang on. Move to guitars. There we go. So that's like this saw synthy goodness. It sounded so good. I tell you what, let's just open that back up. Let's make that active and see what plugin that was, because I don't remember what it was. It's A&A, and we used the burnt out. I don't know what I changed on this, but we started with the burnt out preset, and that's what I got. Let's see here if it'll let me. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds so good. Yeah, sounds awesome. So that's what I used. Okay, we're done with you. Goodbye, sir. All right. So that's the left side. The right side, I believe, is the same preset. So here's the thing. This conversion was not perfect. And I'm going to tell you right now, this begins the unperfect stage. Okay? That's the fun part to me. The more unperfect things become, the more unique it is. And I like that. So the MIDI data doesn't do a perfect job of converting the audio to MIDI. But I was okay with that because it created some movement and it created some dynamics. So you'll see that even though these were two different audio tracks using the same algorithm to commit them, they don't sound anything near the same when it comes to rhythm. So this is what they sound like together. So you can see it's kind of chaos, but it's ear candy. It's so delicious. So when I put this back with the guitar tracks, let me solo the guitars again. They're just there on the very top end. Turning them up so you can kind of hear them a little bit. And that's kind of helping create that wall of sound, you know, when you just take these guys. Now we're in the breakdown, which is even crazier. Okay, so that's these crazy, wild, beastly things. Okay, so that's those two, and that's it for guitar part. So coming back into the track now, let's go to chorus here. Okay, cool. So, yeah, no, there's some fun stuff in there. And so let's come to, before I do all that fun stuff, let's come to the voxes. So this is the clean vox. So this is where I talked about how I kind of had to do some cleanup. So the voxes needed de-reverbed, so they sounded a little different. And yeah, I need to change that. There we go.
Expected to find, never anticipated the signs, facing a challenge of a different kind, the destruction of mankind.
So I'm using quite a few things here. So let's start with the Vox Clean, and we're just gonna do this. So you got, this is what it sounds like, just raw.
Never expected to find.
And it was pretty muddy. Actually, I guess I need to take these out too to get you completely raw.
Never expected to find. Never anticipated the signs.
Okay, so that was that one, and move this down real quick. And so I pitched down, and I believe I was doing some more creative things. So we'll come across these here in a second. We'll take them one at a time. Okay, so the main Vox here, API EQ, then TubeTech EQ, 1176 LA2A. So just kind of doing a little bit of like your run-of-the-mill vocal sound, especially with the 1176 into the LA2A. Very typical. The TubeTech EQ, I think I was fighting trying to get this sound to come back to life after de-reverbing everything. So this is before.
Never expected to find. Never anticipated the signs.
So I brought it back to life, added the high end, especially here, I'm boosting high end. I'm not really cutting anything in the highs. Yeah, that's really it. And I'm boosting some lows just to kind of bring some bass back into his life. Well, I should probably do this one first. So the API EQ, boosting top end 20K, boosting some 5K, cutting some low mids, and boosting some lower end body of his vocals. So that's the heart of this. This 1176 LA2A, people talk about it all the time, so I won't get too into the woods on that, but one of them's designed to clamp down real quick, really slow, and then the other's designed to do the opposite. So really just kind of help level out that vocal sound. So that is that guy, and then I'm doing some volume rides. I'm sorry, that's not volume rides. That is rides, but it is on the verb send, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. So the next one that I have here is this Vox Low. And I'm just adding in some like beefiness to his vocals. That's my problem here. Let's do that again.
Never expected to find.
Just adding in some of that low end. And
never anticipated the signs.
Really creating that sound of wall of sound. That's kind of the thing that I'm going for here. The next one is Vox Clean. I'm not sure what I was doing with this one.
Never expected to find.
Okay, so this guy I'm just panning to the left and then the other one to the right, and it's only the mid-range. Hold on. I may have lied. Okay, yeah. This EQ did not get dropped down like that. So these two are like a left-right.
Never expected to find.
And it's just a mid-range boost. So you got the low plus the mid-range.
Never expected to find.
And then you add in the main one, or I guess I can unsolo all of these now.
Never expected to find.
Yeah, just tightening it up. So here's the thing where from him, this is track 8, track 9, and track 7. So he sent me multiple versions of that audio. So that's where these came from. So you have unique performances every time, and that's what you want. So again,
never expected to find.
And then the last thing I wanted to do was not that, I don't even know why that's in there. And is LA2A just kind of gluing everybody together. So before,
never expected to find.
And then after,
never anticipated the signs.
And you might be like, man, that's really like high indie. It's what it needs to cut through. You'll see. That's the key to this is letting the vocal cut through. And then I'm also sending this stuff to a verb send. And let's see if it picks that up.
Never expected to find. Never anticipated the signs. Facing a challenge of a different kind. The destruction of mankind.
Okay, so what I'm doing here is...
Never expected.
Let's see, what's a good way for me to do this?
Never expected to find.
Okay. So basically on this one, sorry, what I'm doing is this is the send coming in from that lead vox, and I'm adding distortion. So this is what it sounds like before. This is nothing.
Never expected to find.
Which is just a carbon copy of the original track. And then so I'm adding this distortion on there.
Never expected to find.
All right, you can kind of hear it kind of starts to bite a little bit. Then I'm adding this reverb, Studio D, which is wide BVG stereo.
Never expected to find.
And that's just adding some chorus sound. You know, you can kind of hear it start to spin.
Never expected to find.
And then adding my favorite delay plugin, H delay, and we're doing a ping pong 8th note delay, and this is what it sounds like.
Never expected to find.
And this is the one that I am automating on these vocal tracks. So verb medium is, nope, not this one. It's the next one coming up. But it's for all the vocals. So that's kind of the sound of these guys. So here you go again.
Never expected to find.
And we add that into the track.
Never expected to find. Never anticipated the signs. Facing a challenge of a different kind.
Okay, so you kind of get the idea. We're getting there, don't worry. It's about to get crazy, to say the least. It's going to be a good time. Okay, Vox Screams. There's all kinds of fun stuff on here, okay? So this is what the Vox Screams sound like now.
What has come of this? The signs! Different kind! The destruction of mankind!
Okay, anyway. So it's crazy, but it's so cool. So the screams, this is, I'm going to take off this 2A. We'll just deactivate all these real quick because there's so many of them. Yeah, there's a lot. There's so many screams. Yeah, well, I'll get to that in a second. Okay. So, screams. So this is the first one. So some of these are the same, but I'm doing different things to them. So this is the scream track here.
What has come of this?
And then I'm doing some basic EQ, very similar to the main vocal one.
What has come of this?
And it brings up a lot of the noise. I didn't record this in my studio, so it brings up the noise and the room tone, but it's fine. It works, okay? Again, remember, imperfections are unique, and that is what makes things fun. Okay. So then this next one is the same track. I just added some distortion.
What has come of this?
Just eating it. This is also the same track, but we're pitching an octave down. So this is a whole 12 steps down, and I'm adding some distortion again. So that's what this guy sounds like. And you just get a monster. The ending too, just I love it. Okay, so this is the second Vox track. So and it repeats the same process. So we've got this.
What has come of this?
So that one's more like a high pitched cry scream, and then this is the other one.
What has come of this?
So you've got that lower pitched one. So I do pretty much the same thing here. Same EQ settings should be. Yep, same EQ settings. So you get this.
What has come of this?
And then adding the distortion in.
What has come of this?
It's so fun. And then adding the
What has come of this?
adding this in. Yeah. That's it. That's the fun stuff. Okay. So that's Scream 2, and then Scream 3 isn't actually in the chorus, it's in a different section. But it's very much the same. Let me come to the breakdown because this is like my favorite part of the whole song. So we've got this guy. Oh, let me undo that. So there's a Scream 3 and a growl for these. So this is the Scream 3. And it's the same process where I've got like a cleaner version, like my dry version. I've got my distorted version, my pitched down version. So this is what it sounds like before.
Rumbling, shaking in the ocean floor.
Okay. Cleaning it up.
Rumbling, shaking in the ocean floor.
So it brings out that room tone, but it sounds good. Honestly, it really does. And then the distorted version.
Shaking in the ocean blue.
All right, and then the octave down version. Sorry, I keep hitting the wrong button. I mean, it just turns into a total monster. I think I may have hit the wrong switch on these. Yeah, just turns into a beast. Yeah, I think I did. I think I hit the wrong one on these. So I think, listen to this one now. Yeah. Those are all the wrong one. Yeah, see, that one wasn't even on the same one. Okay. Suddenly we have a group of pigs. Okay. Excuse me. So, I'm getting the monster out. Okay. So those three together, gonna sound like this.
Shaking in the ocean blue.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Let me show you these. I don't think I did this. These three together.
The destruction of mankind.
Okay. Whoops. And then these three together.
The destruction of mankind.
Okay. So that's screams 1, 2, and 3. And then we have growl. Okay. Growl is fun too.
Bombing, shaking in the ocean blue.
So you could really hear that he's trying to go for what I've done already, and we're helping with that. So cleaning it up.
Bombing, shaking in the ocean blue.
Okay. And then we're doing the distorted version.
Bombing, shaking in the ocean blue.
And then the low-pitched growl that I gotta fix. There we go. So you really get that angry monster sound. And it's awesome.
Bombing, shaking in the ocean blue. Something we have never seen before.
So it really gets crazy. And it's fun. It sounds really good. Yeah, that one's right. I think I changed the wrong one earlier. Up here on this one. That one is right. And this one. Okay. That one's good. That one's right. Maybe it was this one. Nope. Okay, they're all good. Good deal. Okay, so that is the Vox. So there's a couple more things. Let me come to the chorus real quick. Well, I'll do the verse. How about that? Yeah, let's do the verse. So get off of these vocals. Come here to this chorus. I know I just said not to the chorus. So here's the chorus. And that should be everything we need.
Never expected to find what has come of this. Never anticipated the signs. Facing a challenge of a different kind. The destruction of mankind. the water's gate. We have the tools and the expertise to solve the mystery of the day. We must prepare, we must endure. There will be blood on that offshore. There are signs on the ocean floor. Something wait, nothing before. Never expected to fall.
Okay, cool. So we're getting there. So this Scream Vox has a send, and that sounds like this. Hopefully it'll let me do it. Scream effects bus delay. Yeah, that's this one. It's pre-fader, but I've got that soloed. So it's not really gonna let me do it. So I'm just gonna unmute it, and basically it's just a delay on the lead vocals. So if you listen in, you'll hear it.
Never expected to fall. What has come of this? Never anticipated the signs. Facing a challenge of a different kind.
There's that delay. Turn this back on to read. So this guy is really important for the verses, and so I'll play it here.
We're on a mission to explore the deep. Find the secrets of the water's gate. We have the tools and the expertise to solve the mystery of the sea. We must prepare, we must endure. There will be blood on that offshore. There are signs on the ocean floor. Something we've not seen before.
So you can hear I'm really just letting it do its own thing there. And it just kind of adds some more of that chaos, that randomness that is abundant in this track that we want. We want that unique sound. We don't want this to sound like anything else. You know, every track is unique, and this is how we create that unique sound. So that is all of the reverbs for the Scream. There is this guy that I just decimated with warping the timing of it. So at the end of the bridge, we go into this interlude, and he does this long scream. And let me play that real quick. So he does this long scream, and then the breakdown's happening. And so I took this other scream, I don't even know where I got it from, and just extended it really long, even to where Pro Tools is like, hey, this isn't working. It's in the red, meaning that it's going to sound like trash, but that's what we want. We want it to sound crazy. We want it to sound unique. So here we go. Okay, so before the plugins, this is what it sounded like. Just so, it's just been destroyed, you know, and so I add this reverb on there, and that really softens it up. Add some EQ. And get rid of that high end, because there's a lot of high end in there. And then add in some distortion. So going into that track, it sounds like this.
In the ocean floor, something we have never seen before.
Okay, so that's what it sounds like, and that's the vocals. Let me unmute the Vox Scream so you can actually hear the whole track right there.
The ocean floor, something we have never seen before.
Okay, so you get the idea. It just sounds so good when it all comes together. So there's only a couple things left in the mix here. So we do some sub drops. So here are some sub drops that I put in. Just super simple. Pitch 2, I think I pitched it to the key of the song, and then added some distortion. So if we took those off, and back on. Yeah, basically that's all I was doing there. And then I had this, should be a ride, I believe. Yeah. I don't remember what it initially was, but I ended up changing it. If I extend it out, let me see what it is. I don't remember. It was something that I chopped up, maybe a cymbal swell or something. I can't remember, but just to kind of help ramp up that chorus. That guy should have a fade on there, but he does not. There we go. The this little cymbal thing, I'm not sure what it was, but it just kind of helped sell that chorus a little bit. So with those together, and I probably should have that up a little bit. All right, and so that, don't think I have anything on. Oh yeah, I do. Okay, so I've got a couple more things. This Vox FX is this guy, and that's just a guitar, just being faded into the breakdown. Just to kind of help sell that a little bit. Okay, and then this breakdown is like the highlight of the song for me, at least. It's my favorite part. So then we've got this guy. So there's some automation going on. So you can see I'm doing volume, and you guessed it, random. Once again, everything is random on the volume automation, all of it. So we've got this pan, so it's also going to be panning left to right. So this is what this guy sounds like by himself. And then it has some reverb. Sorry, didn't have it soloed. So, pretty cool, man. Honestly, that sounded really neat like this. That reverb's nice. It's really a delay, but I'm using it as a delay and a reverb. Greg Wells probably is what I did and just left it there. So we put those in the mix and we get this. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so that's the full track. I'll start with the intro here.
What do I say? Don't understand how this can be. What do I do? What do I say? This will be a catastrophe. We must prepare, we must endure. There will be blood on that I'm sure. There are signs of the ancient law. So they wait until they fall. Never expected to fall. What has come of this? Never anticipated the signs. Facing a challenge of a different kind. The destruction of mankind. One mission to explore the deep. Find the secrets of the water's gate. We have the tools and the expertise to solve the mystery of the day. We must prepare, we must endure. There will be blood on that I'm sure. There are signs on the ocean floor. Something we know deep before. Never expected to fall. What has come of this? Never anticipated the signs. Facing a challenge of a different kind. The destruction of mankind. Shaking in the ocean blue. Something we have never seen before. Rumbling, shaking in the ocean floor. Something we have never seen before. Never expected to fall. What has come of this? Never anticipated the signs. Facing a challenge of a different kind. The destruction of mankind. We must prepare, we must endure. There will be blood on that I'm sure. There are signs on the ocean floor. Something we know deep before.
All right. Hey, I'm Brian Martinez. Thank you again for watching. Hopefully you really enjoyed that. If you have any other questions, please feel free to put them down in the comments and I'll try and get to them. If you like this mix, again, the name of the track is called Signs by the band Armitage. And this song is currently, I believe, out on Spotify, but I don't think it's my mix. I believe they're going to redo it. I'm not sure though, but look forward to more stuff from them in the future. And they're a great band, and they sound really awesome. So next week, or the next video that come out will be a inside the mix for a definitely different tone. It'll be for a Fleetwood Mac style song, and it's a cover of Dreams. So excited to see you guys there, and have a good one. If you like this video, please subscribe and hit the like button below. Thank you.